Now, the last paragraph, it says that the words socialist, secular, and integrity were not the part of the original preamble. Now, what happens in amendment, that certain laws can be changed and certain laws can be added in the constitution. So, this socialist, secular, and integrity, at the beginning, it was not the part of original preamble, but later in the year 1976 all these things were added in the constitution. So in amendment, some laws can be changed and some laws can be added, and this procedure is carried out in the parliament. The parliament, they look after it. Now the next features is fundamental rights and duties. As we discussed before, the Constitution of India guarantees a few rights to all the citizens of India. These rights are called fundamental rights. What are fundamental rights? The Constitution guarantees some rights that should be given to every citizen of India. So this is what fundamental rights are, that some rights are given to the citizen of India. These rights were given to the citizens so that we could become the kind of nation that is described in the preamble. And what is the purpose of these rights? The purpose of these rights are so that we can become the kind of nation that the preamble tells us to be. Now, whatever we studied in preamble, this fundamental rights urges us to be like them, to become like that which is written in the preamble. Then, every citizen of India enjoys these basic human rights. If these rights are denied, one can go to the court of law. There are 7 fundamental rights which are written in the Constitution of India. Now, over here in fundamental rights and duties, we are going to study 7 fundamental rights and duties that is written in the Constitution. And these fundamental rights are, the first one, right to equality. That means every citizen is equal before the law. That in eyes of the law, every citizen is equal. There will be no difference. No difference on what basis? On the basis of religion, race, caste, gender, or place of birth. That means every human being, every person, every single person will be treated equally, no matter to which place they belong to, no matter to which race, to which caste, or to which religion they belong to. In the eyes of the law, they are equal. We are equal amongst everyone. Then, right to freedom. It includes freedom to speak and think freely and express our opinions freely. Now, right to freedom means we can do whatever we want to do. We have our own thoughts, we have our own ideas, and we have the right to think over those ideas. Now, an Indian citizen can settle anywhere in India. Now, being part of India, we can live in any part of India, wherever we want to stay, and we can choose any occupation that we want to do. If I want to become a doctor, it is my choice that I want to become a doctor, and I can practice that. Then, right against exploitation. This right protects the citizen from being ill-treated or made to work without pay. Now, right against exploitation, it protects the citizen. And how does it protect? Suppose if we are working somewhere and we are being mistreated by the people, so we are free to go and complain, and the law will take strict action against them. And another thing, whenever we work, we are being paid for that work. So we have to look after it, that whatever we are working, we are being paid for all those work. And second thing is, no child is allowed to work. No child labor should be done. Okay. Now, next is right to freedom of religion. India is a secular country where every citizen has the right to follow any religion. We studied this in preamble, that we are secular. India is a secular country where we can choose any religion. We can put our faith in any religion that we want to. It's not like that if my family belongs to Hinduism, I cannot trust in Christianity. If I want to put my trust in this religion, I am free to practice that religion. Okay? Then, cultural and educational right. It says every person has the right to get education and also get admission into any educational institution. All groups who are less in numbers, minorities, can develop and preserve their cultures. Now, cultural and education right means that everyone has right to study. Wherever we want to study, we can go and study. It's not necessary that if I am a female, I won't be allowed to study. Male, female, or any other gender, they have the right to take complete education wherever, in whichever college, school they want to study. The next is right to constitutional remedies. Now, every citizen is protected by the law and treated equally. Now, we are being protected in the law and we are protected equally. Now, in case any of his fundamental rights are denied, suppose if someone is denying our fundamental right, then we can go to the law and we can right to approach, we can speak out over there, and there's a place where we have to go and speak, and that place is the Supreme Court. Suppose for example, if I want to become a cricketer and someone is not letting me to accomplish my dreams, so I can go and I can speak my mind that now the next fundamental rights and duties is right to education, the most important fundamental duties. Now it says that this law was passed in 2009. It made education a fundamental right of every child between the age of 6 to 14 years, which means that if a child who is between the age of 6 to 14 years is denied education, he can go to the Supreme Court. Now there was this law that was passed in the year 2009, and this made education important. And how it made education important and at what age? It made education important to every child who was between the age of 6 to 14 years. And it also says that if the child is denied to get that education, then they can go to the Supreme Court. If anybody is not following the rule that law has passed, so that person, they can go to the Supreme Court in order to get the education, in order to get the right to education. Okay, now next is, as citizens of India, we all enjoy these fundamental rights, but along with these, we also have certain duties towards our country. These are called fundamental duties. Now, these are the fundamental duties that we saw, but there are other duties also that belongs when we serve to our country, where we have to serve towards our country, the duties that we have to show towards the country, and these are called fundamental duties. The first that we studied, that is right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational right, right to constitutional remedies, right to education. These are our rights. These are fundamental rights that every human being should follow. But fundamental duties are the duties towards the country that every citizen should follow. So, here are the certain duties that as a citizen of India we have to follow. So the first one is respect the national flag, national anthem and the national symbols. Now we have to show respect towards national flag, national anthem and the national symbols. Then respect the Constitution of India. Whatever is written in the Constitution of India, we have to respect that. Value the heritage and protect the culture of India. That means we have to value the culture, whatever culture that we follow in India, we have to value those cultures. Then, protect the natural environment and public property. We have to look after the natural environment. That means we have to take care of the nature, and whatever public property is there, we have to look after it. Be proud of his country. If we are living in India, in any part of the state, wherever we are living, we have to be very proud of our country. Then, help in the defense of his country and protect it in the times of danger. Whenever we face any danger, whenever any circumstances comes, we have to face it. We have to help each other during the time of danger. Then, promote brotherhood and treat all citizens equally. We have to promote brotherhood. That means all the citizens, the people of a country should be living as brotherhood, and we should consider them equally. That means no person is high and no person is low. That means we all are equal in everyone's eyes. Okay. Now the next topic is Directive Principles of State Policy. Fundamental rights was for us, fundamental duties was also for us, and that too towards the country. Now here, directive principles, what happens in directive principles, certain laws are passed to government. We know that government, they work for us, and to them also the law passes certain rules and regulations that how they have to look after the country. So we'll see that the Constitution of India lays down certain instructions for the government. The government is expected to keep these in mind while making laws. These instructions are called Directive Principles of State Policy. They ensure that the government works for the welfare of the people. Some of these guidelines include. Now, while making the directive principles, what does the law says to the government? It says that they have to work for the welfare of the people, and they have to keep it in the mind that whatever law they are making, it should be in the favor of the people. So some of the guidelines that is for us are providing work for everyone. That means giving work to every people. Next, equal pay for equal work for both men and women. If we are working, then there should be an equal payment for both men and women. Okay. Next is proper working conditions in the area of work, providing people with proper and right conditions. Even if you give work to them, they should be in proper way. Then ensuring that every child gets a free education. Now, if you give education to a child, that education should be free, and free is basically for the lower middle class, or the one who belongs to below poverty line. Those children should be given the free education. Then ensuring that wealth is not concentrated in the hands of only a few rich people and poor are not exploited. The important guideline that whatever wealth is there in the country should not be only given to the rich people only. That means the poor people should not be exploited. If the wealth is distributed, the wealth should be distributed equally amongst everyone. We have seen this in preamble also, that the wealth, whatever is there in the country, the wealth is for everyone, be it the rich or be it the poor. Then providing a decent standard of living for everyone. Now government should look after the standard of living for everyone, and they have to look after our state of living, how we are living. And if we are not living in a proper way, it is the duty of the government to provide us with a better standard of living. Then these principles are aimed at ensuring social and economic welfare of the people, They act as yardstick for measuring the success or the failure of the government. So these are the principles that aims for the betterment of the country and also ensuring social and economic welfare of the country. So this is how the government should work according to these guidelines and these principles. Okay, so I hope you're clear with this chapter, our constitution. If you have any doubt related with any part of the topic, you can question, you can ask the queries in the dashboard, and question answers will be uploaded in the dashboard. Till then, take care and thank you.